Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Around the Ballpark podcast, episode number 149. This is the official 2-year anniversary from when we did our very first podcast. So super, super cool, super excited to have Jimmy T on with us. We'll get to know him here in just a moment. But thanks each and every one of you guys making us a part of your week each and every Sunday night or Thursday night, I should say, at 9 o'clock and Sunday night at 8 o'clock as well. Darren, hope you're doing well. Happy birthday to my daughter. Turns 15 years old today. Super, super cool day. But Darren, as always, before we do anything else, we have to give a shout out to our fine sponsors over at Nashville Tax Solutions.
Nashville Tax Solutions is simply the best, and especially this time of year. It is tax season. By now, you probably got your tax information, and you might be struggling with some ideas. And, if you're dealing with tax issues, maybe you're behind on filings, you got hit with a lien. This happens. By now you should know about Nashville Tax Solutions. But let me remind you, these folks know what they're doing, and they actually care about helping you fix it. And I've heard from a lot of people over the last 2 years because, as you know, Nashville Tax Solutions has been with us since the beginning. And they say that Chris Bennett and his team have turned a financial nightmare that they might have been in to one where they had peace of mind. That's the kind of help you really want to have and you need on your side. So if tax stress is keeping you up, call 855-627-4829, visit Nashville Tax Solutions, or email info@nashvilletaxsolutions.com. Nashville Tax Solutions, real people who get real relief.
Thank you, Darren. Mike. Thank you so much, and shout out again to you, Chris. Thank you. I'm so glad you had an awesome time this past Tuesday. Chris Bennett, our sponsor, had an opportunity to go to Steinbrenner Field to catch the Yankees and the Mets spring training, and it was an all-day pass where at 7:30 in the morning they got to go on the field, meet some of the players on the field, do a breakfast with them, batting practice, go on the field, first pitch, that whole thing. Pictures he sent me with Aaron Judge and this one and that one. He seemed to have a blast. It was the third time he's went, so it seemed like he had an absolute blast. So thank you, Chris. I'm so glad that you got that opportunity and continue to get to do that. And I'm happy the Mets beat the Yankees, though. I'm going to be honest. I'm happy that happened that day.
Well, of course.
Yes, But tonight is we're going to talk about the Elimination Chamber. It's just 2 days away. To me, at least, and we'll see, Jimmy, your thoughts in a second, but to me, it was the best show WWE-wise in 2025. So minus the Travis Scott stuff, probably. But I'd like to get your thoughts on that. But Jimmy T, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and just to get to know you a little bit, and where we can find you on social media, most importantly.
Well, first of all, it's an absolute pleasure being on the show with both of you great fellas. So thank you for having me on. But as far as I go, everyone knows me as Jimmy T of the PWC, but I'm not on the PWC per se anymore. I'm actually at Hamir Media Group. So that's where I do my own shows. For example, as you know, I like a Raw, The Wreckage, where we talk about AEW, and Insanity, where we also talk about JCW, funny enough. I never thought I was going to get into that. But you know what? I thought, why not? Let's get into it. But as far as I go, also everyone knows me as a DJ. I go by DJ Mass Effects. That's what everyone used to call me, but I'd rather everyone just call me Jimmy T, because at the end of the day, when I do podcasting, that's not me being a DJ. That's just I'm being myself. So that's just about me. But if you want to follow me, you can at the PWC Network on the Twitter or the X or whatever you want to call it these days.
Just to touch on that, you mentioned JCW. So we have one local company here, Atomic Legacy Wrestling, ALW, and they just did a partner show, ALW versus JCW, not too long ago. Violent J does some work with them. He'll be at their big show coming up in July, Star Spangled Banner and stuff. And so Alex Red, who owns ALW and JCW, kind of go way back. And I saw Vince Russo giving him a shout out and the company a shout out. It's a great company. If you're local to the Florida area, definitely want to check out ALW. They do about 4 shows a year, but they do that purposely because they put all their efforts into those few shows rather than trying to spit out shows left and right. So just a shout out to JCW, the great work that they're doing. Great creative storytelling. So from what I've heard, things are really well with that. But we're here. We're going to talk a little bit about the Elimination Chamber. But I got to ask you first because we do talk a little bit of sports here on the podcast. So I know you're in Australia, correct?
I was just going to say, I forgot to actually say that I'm from Melbourne, Australia. But yeah, that's right.
What's funny is because I actually live in Melbourne, Florida. Well, Palm Bay, Florida. But
what do you know?
So sport-wise, we were talking a little bit off the air, and Darren, go ahead and chime in too. But we were talking about which teams you were into, that sort of thing. I just went to my first NBA game, Memphis Grizzlies and Miami Heat, and it was definitely an experience. One thing I can say is the entire game, there's no downtime. It's not like when you watch Monday Night Raw and you're there live and they cut to commercial break and it's just kind of like silence. Like when you go to an NBA game, even during the plays, like I thought it was just during timeouts and quarter changes and stuff. No, like even when they're dribbling the ball, you hear song after song after pipe noise after pipe noise. It's like a giant 2.5 hour party the whole time. So even though I didn't have a horse in the race, I still had an awesome time. So, but you mentioned you're a little bit fan of the NBA. Which team are you into? And
I'm a Bulls fan, funny enough, obviously because of the Jordan and Pippen days, but I do have a soft spot for Milwaukee only because of the Greek Freak.
The Greek Freak.
Right. In case you guys don't know, yes, I'm from Australia, but I'm of Greek heritage. So I've got a real soft spot for Giannis.
Are you surprised that Giannis didn't get traded?
No, because he doesn't want to go. The one thing about Giannis that everybody doesn't seem to understand is he's very loyal. He's extremely loyal. And he keeps saying over and over, he wants to stay with Milwaukee. He wants to stay with the Bucks. But the thing is, I think there's a little bit, I don't want to call it a conspiracy, but I think Adam Silver wants him to go to a big market team.
Like New York.
Like New York, for example, or Chicago. There was talk of Chicago too, which I'd love to have him there, obviously. But that's what he really wants. It's all politics to get him at a big market team because in Milwaukee, it feels like for them, I don't think it makes enough money when it comes to the NBA.
Wow. You're not wrong.
And the hockey front, you're a Blackhawks guy as well, correct?
I'm a Blackhawks guy, but I don't follow the NHL like I do with the NBA. Like I'm full on with the NBA, but with the NHL, look, the Blackhawks haven't been good for quite a while. So
yeah,
there's not much to say about it. It's not like I used to love Jeremy Roenick back in the day, for example, and Chris Chelios. And unfortunately, all the big name players now.
They were Stanley Cup champions. They were beautiful.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the Blackhawks are very successful. I mean, all the time. For the most part, how many Stanley Cups have they won already from back in the day till now? I mean, they're one of the most successful clubs in the modern era. Easy.
Yep. And we had a question from it's a great point from Soupy. Thoughts on the Florida Panthers? They two-time defending Stanley Cup champions, and they find themselves definitely on the outs right now. They can't seem to put a lot of wins together, so they're not quite what they've been. I'm not sure if they have all their pieces back or they're still waiting, but be interesting to see if they completely miss the playoffs this year. After that doesn't happen too often. Two-time defending champs and on the outside looking in. So definitely a good point there. Did you watch any Olympics at all? I think I got to see one hockey game and a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It just didn't time up with my time and stuff. But did you get into that at all, or I'm not really?
Well, I know Team USA won, obviously, in the hockey, so that's a good thing, obviously. But no, look, the thing is, because I'm from Australia, it's more hot down here than it's not. Put it that way. Like it's hot right now and it's overcasted, and I hate this type of weather. I can't stand the summer down here, man. It's just way too hot. But like I've said a million times on my own show, but I've never touched snow in my life. I've never seen snow. I don't even know what snow feels like. Everyone says it sucks. but I just want to see it just once. I think I'll love it. But knowing me, if I came to the USB, hopefully one day. If I came to, obviously Florida is more similar to Australia's weather, so I guess it's kind of different. But if I went to a New York City type of winter, I'd probably die. But I love the cold. That's the thing. Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine.
So I know you're not a big American football fan, but I love having you to talk to today because, I have a friend of mine who lives in Australia. Actually, she just moved to Canada, but she lived in Australia for a long, long time. And she's a nurse, and we talked about the indigenous population, and we talk about addiction, some other things. But I've always been impressed with Australian rules football. And because people think, tough NFL. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They don't wear equipment and they go hard. And if you can explain some of the, the metrics of the sport. I mean, there's kind of a circular end, there's with the goalposts, and I think it's wild to watch. I'm still trying to understand it. So if you can walk me through just a little bit, that'd be great.
I'm glad you actually brought that up, Darren, as a matter of fact, because I'm a huge fan, obviously, being from Australia and particularly from Melbourne. It's a unique sport. I mean, it's a cross between, I'd say, soccer and rugby, sort of. I hate rugby, though. I can't stand rugby, though. That's the thing. But it's a fast-flowing sort of game. Like, it's very exciting. They don't wear pads. These guys absolutely kill each other. I mean,
and they got thighs like this, huge.
Oh man, I'll tell you now, Darren. I mean, it can get pretty violent.
Yeah,
I mean, you see some messed up stuff. But it's an exciting sport. It's when it's a great game. Sometimes there's nothing better watching like Aussie rules football. I think it's starting to grow a little bit in the US. I've noticed a few Americans starting to get into it. Yes. But my team is the most successful in the league in the modern era. I mean, I go for Hawthorn. Nice. That's a suburb in Melbourne, basically, and they win a lot of trophies. Put it that way.
I love that because I started to become interested in it because I read a book that was talking about Gaelic football, and a good friend of mine told me that Gaelic football. Then you got to look at Australian football. And it's beautiful.
Well, funny enough, Gaelic football players usually make the jump to Aussie rules football. It's a natural sort of progression. As a matter of fact, every year they'll make an Australian team, like an Australian representative team, when it comes to the Aussie rules football, and they usually play against the Irish, like the best of the Irish Gaelic football players at the end of the year. But the thing is, we've got to play by their sort of rules because they're not used to kicking an oval ball.
Right.
But that's why you get some great punters coming from Australia in the NFL.
Jets had one for years, an Australian, somebody from Australia. Beautiful.
As a matter of fact, the drop punt, do you guys know what a drop punt is, for example?
Yeah, I do.
We brought that over. Yeah, we brought that style of kicking to the NFL, and now it's a normal punt, for example. Yep. So there's a lot of Americans that also play in the AFL, which is what our league is called. There's quite a few, and they're actually pretty good. So you'll be surprised.
It's a great sport. It really is. But
it is very much
I know it just went. It was like, I got to ask him. This is a perfect opportunity.
You're the only American that actually is asking me that. Everyone else doesn't really care, like amongst my American friends. So I never.
We like it all.
No, we around the ballpark. That's what we do.
Absolutely, I love it.
One thing, as we kind of segue into Elimination Chamber, and then kind of Darren will take it from here in terms of kind of navigating us through our picks and predictions and stuff like that. So I shared a little offline, but a couple of weeks ago, I work from home, so constantly have ball game on in the background, music on the background, podcasts on the background. And I was like, you know what? I was just in the mood for something different. And so I came across the I Like It Raw podcast not too long ago. And what I really liked about it was that I didn't feel like I was just watching a podcast. I felt like I was just with the guys, just hanging out. And talking about what we were talking about and that sort of thing. And so that's very unique because you don't get that a lot, nowadays. And a lot of times, a lot of times, you just feel like you're watching something with personality, but it feels not scripted per se, but it just felt like I was with the guys and I just really liked that. And I think it was like 7 minutes in, I'm like, oh, I'm working. Oops. Because I just got sucked into it. So I know you guys are not doing it for a little bit or whatever, but just encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. I'm sure the stars will align and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I kind of don't agree with it. I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm a bit on the. I know with Ray, like he said, like he needs to, and I understand that. It's not that. It's more that we're doing it this week in WWE. That's what's happening. So I used to cover SmackDown and Raw, obviously, separately. Excuse me. But now with my other co-host RBV, we're putting it together. And do you remember this week in baseball, for example?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
We're playing up on that exact same graphics, same sort of leading tune, I think. That's all RBV, like I said. And, so it's a play off that. The only thing I don't like about combining the two is, to me, content is king, right? Like,
yep.
I like a Raw actually is one of our higher viewed sort of shows. So, I don't know. I in a way, I'd rather keep them split, but that's just me. But I'm not the boss. So, I'm going to go with what they say, and that's what they want. So that's what we're going to do.
Right.
Yep. Continue sharing the on X and stuff like you do, and we'll find the content for sure. So
we'll put it this way:
so I just
on the 3rd of the 3rd at 3 p.m. Eastern US time.
That's pretty easy.
3.
So, gentlemen, I got a couple of WWE Elimination Chamber questions. There's nobody else that I would like to ask than you two. I mean, this is the first time that I've met you, Jimmy T. But Mike has waxed poetic about your brilliance in this category. So I'm just going to ask some questions and let's slap it around a little bit.
Let's do it.
So the men's elimination chamber match. So there's more than 2 people in that, correct? Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, LA Knight, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, Jey Uso. Who will win? Who do you think is going to get shafted? What kind of match you think is going to be? Unpack it all for us. Start with you, Jimmy T.
This is a bit of a tough one, to be honest, because you can easily go with Cody Rhodes on winning it, but I don't think that's going to happen. But it's very I can't really make my mind up on it. Do we go with a surprise? Say maybe Trick Williams. Right now, I'm going to go with LA Knight, actually, as a matter of fact.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna go out the ballpark, like literally. And I don't usually do these type of predictions, as in like right out left field. But I feel like because the thing is, when you got Cody Rhodes in it, he's not gonna win it. I just don't see him winning it because of Jacob Fatu, and like I feel like there's gonna be a 4-way with that. Somehow we're gonna get to a 4-way at Mania Night 1 between Drew, Cody, what's it called?
Sami Zayn, maybe even, or
Sami Zayn as well. There's so many like moving pieces here, which is so hard to like make one pick, and that's why I'm going with LA Knight, because I feel like he's overcooked right now. Like they need to sort of pull the trigger on him. It's now or never. But then again, I'm probably going to be way off, because even if he does win, like I don't see the clear path to WrestleMania yet, and what match we're gonna have.
But now the winner receives a shot at Drew McIntyre, right? For the
right.
championship.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre, right? But that's the problem, because Mike, I mean, do you just see one person going into that match?
So I can't see one person going to the match,
right?
But like I can't. A lot of the sites and the rumors, everything is that we're getting some sort of 4-way, 5-way, or even a 6-way at Mania. So I don't see that either, though. Like, are we going to get a 6-man chamber match to go into a 6-man?
That's why it doesn't make sense,
right? And so it's like, okay, so let's eliminate right there. Like, okay, so when we're taking a test, right, we can always eliminate some answers. We may not know the right answer. We may not know who's going to win. We can eliminate Trick Williams. It's too soon there. I mean, although I would love it, we know that's not.
I would love it, but it won't happen. Right?
We know it's not going to be Javon Evans, right? Like that's too soon for that.
He's there for the coaching spot, 100%.
Yeah, and then I think if it was Jey Uso, the world would implode for some reason. So I think
oh my god,
that takes us down to 3 just right off the bat. Although sometimes when someone is not supposed to be in something and then they are, sometimes they flip the script and run it back. But but I think here that the tough part is no matter, let's just say Cody does win. How do they're not doing a one-on-one match.
It's more than likely Cody, really.
If he had to win a big pay-per-view main event match to get to Mania, how do you just automatically add in Randy Orton or Fatu or Sami Zayn? Like, how come they just get right in? It's like at that part, that's what I'm not understanding.
Neither am I. That's why I'm so puzzled, Mike. I that's why I can't really really, my heart tells me it's going to be Cody. It has to be Cody. But what I'm confused about, like you said, how are we going to go from this, like a 5-way to a 4-way or 5-way at Mania? I mean, could we possibly get a complete schmoz in this for the first time ever where there's no winner and somehow...
Yeah. It could happen. So I don't know how we're going to get there. I really don't. But I'm going to say that Randy Orton wins this match. Now, again, I say this because I can't figure out a way where they can logistically get other people in the match. I'm going to go with, and so you have to, in that case, can Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, is that a main event night 1 caliber? Yes, it is.
For me, definitely.
So I'm going to say Randy Orton gets it here. I think somehow we're going to get something with Jacob Fatu, Sami Zayn, and Cody Rhodes at night 1, some sort of 3-way match. Now I know we saw that on SmackDown, so I don't know if Sami would be involved with that. Someone's going to be the odd man out here, but I'm going to take Randy Orton here, and I do still see an Orton heel turn coming here somehow, but I just don't know how it's all going to go up. If you're making me pick a winner, I'm going to go with Randy Orton, but it doesn't make sense how he gets to Mania without the other people, because in whatever world, LA Knight, and I saw this funny reel, but it's true. It was this guy, I forget his name, but he does the voice of Triple H, and he's like, this is a day in the life of Triple H, and he's got a whiteboard by his bathroom mirror. So he wakes up. He said, today's going to be a great day. It's a new era. He goes to the bathroom, and right above the thing there is a whiteboard, and it says, yeet. It says, LA Knight has to lose. It says, Sami Zayn has to lose and have to promote Saudi Arabia. Like, it's got all this stuff. And so I don't know how we're getting there. I'm taking Orton for the win, but I also don't think it's going to be Orton versus McIntyre only. Somehow, some way, something's going to happen, but that's what I'm going with for the win.
No, this is not my ballywick right now. I'm slowly learning more and more. I used to watch it as a kid, but didn't Jey Uso win the Royal Rumble? Jey Uso
last year
in 2025. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So he will win. Lock it down. He will win. He'll fight Drew. People will be really upset that he even won that. They'll be even more upset, and that builds attention, good or bad. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely could win as well. I think the thing with Jey Uso, for those that don't understand the hate with him, is I still don't understand it. But like from January. Well, actually, from before January of 25, but he was the most in the building. He's the most popular person each and every night. But I think they overdo the yeets over and over again. The run it back should feel special, not every single time. Brock Lesnar getting eliminated during Jey Uso's entrance.
Silly.
It's a big deal to eliminate Brock Lesnar, and it was just So long story short. Pretty much anyone's game to win there. I think we go off the show with Randy Orton winning. I could see some sort of shove match back and forth with Cody Rhodes, and we go off the air with an RKO on Cody Rhodes as we go off the air. What that means, I don't know. Again, how do you get all the pieces together. But that's my official pick. Randy Orton, probably wrong. That's what I'm going with.
No, you're probably right. So let's talk about the women elimination chamber match. And the winner, of course, gets a shot at Jade Cargill. Is it going to be Raquel Rodriguez? Kiana James is going to be Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, and why?
Who's first, me or you, Mike?
Jimmy, come on, you're the guest.
All right. You know what? I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley only because that's a money match for Mania. I mean, if you look at the whole thing, maybe Asuka is too, but it doesn't make sense for Asuka and Jade to be going at it right now. So I'm going to say Rhea because two husses, and when I say two husses, they're women, but god damn, they're huge for women. Even though Rhea has lost a lot of muscle mass, I've noticed lately for whatever reason, I just feel like you look at that whole thing, the whole chamber match. How can it not be Rhea for a Mania? I mean, if you want a Mania caliber match, wouldn't that be the money match, guys?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the field and you see Tiffany Stratton as like, okay, it would be okay, but we've seen it. Like, I'm not opposed to seeing it again, just not at WrestleMania.
Right, exactly.
It was clear that Charlotte, I can't believe I'm saying this, Charlotte should have been the one, but she didn't even make it out of her qualifying match. So now we're stuck with this field, and I'm happy that Raquel Rodriguez got the win to get into the chamber match.
I want Raquel to win, actually, though, Mike, but I doubt she will.
Yeah. So it's really tough. Kiana James is not going to win this. No. Asuka is not going to win this. So I'm probably wrong, but my official pick is going to be Alexa Bliss. But somehow Charlotte will do. She keeps saying I'm good. She's not good. We're seeing a triple threat match: Jade Cargill, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss. Why? I don't know. It should have just been Charlotte and Jade. I think they're overthinking this, but I'm going to take Alexa Bliss. Not 100% feeling confident. I wouldn't put any money down on this one, but I feel like that's the way they're going to go because there's got to be a reason that Alexa's in this and not Charlotte Flair. So
you just remind me of something now, Mike, with everything that you just said. I think Charlotte might actually do over Alexa Bliss in the match somehow where she doesn't win. And maybe Mania.
Yeah, one-on-one match there. Yep, that very much could happen too. Again, and this shouldn't be overstated. I know there's a lot of people not high on. No one really wants to see the Bellas against Rio, right? Rhea but there's no rule that says that Rhea Ripley can't do double duty, and there is 2 nights at WrestleMania. So personally, I would prefer Rhea Ripley to win at this point to face Rhea versus Jade, and then have her do double duty the night before against whoever it may be. I'm kind of hoping it's not the Bellas. If it is, hopefully there's 5 other teams involved. But so you're right. I think Alexa or Charlotte could definitely cost her. But I'm going to stick with Alexa, but Rhea would be my number 2 for that one. So be interesting for sure. But we know Asuka's not winning, and I hope it's not Tiffany Stratton because that's too safe. That's a SmackDown match, not a WrestleMania match.
So let's talk a little bit about the World Heavyweight Championship, right? The winner's going to take on Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Do you take, Mike, you'll go first in this one, Finn Balor or CM Punk? Now, for transparency, one of the residents where I work is a huge fan of CM Punk. That's all she talks about. But who do you think is going to win this, and why?
So, I'm thinking back to there was I'm trying to think of a less predictable or a more predictable main event, and I can't think of one. I don't think there's a galaxy like outside of. Okay, let me just put it this way: CM Punk loses if he doesn't make his flight to Chicago. That's the only way he doesn't get the win. Now, Finn Balor unfortunately is lost. Him, LA Knight, Kairi Sane,
he's Coco Beware.
Somebody backstage, they just keep they're eating the L's. So what's got to happen is Finn Balor's got to have the match of his career, and somehow, some way, Dominic Mysterio JD McDonough get involved, cost Finn Balor the match. We get to Finn Balor finally versus Dominic at WrestleMania. Finn Balor might actually win a match. That's the match for Mania. That's how we get past this. There's no Galaxy where Finn Balor wins. I don't want them entertaining to try to be cute to give it right back to CM Punk. Then it lowers the credibility of Punk versus Reigns at WrestleMania. So I know they might be tempted, but he can't win that match. Not in Chicago.
So in the 70s and early 80s, and all the way through the mid 90s at least, there was always those hacks that, you'd be like the person who is, the flavor of the month, whether it's a Bob Backlund or later, Stan Stasiak, or later on, Hulk Hogan, and they're fighting, Schlubby, Captain Schlub. Captain Schlub? Captain Schlub, or, let's take a nap. And the guy's wearing the ill-fitting clothes, and he always does this. He's always touching his arms like this. Like, he's gonna get ragdolled. That's the way you made Mr. Below sound.
You're a character, Darren.
Well, Jimmy, man, what do you think?
I mean, Mike put it perfectly. I can't disagree. I agree 100% with what Mike said. There is no chance, period, that Finn Balor's got any hope of winning the World Heavyweight Championship. It ain't happening. Not in Chicago. Not even if it was in Ireland again. It's just not happening. He's not winning. And like Mike said, 100% Dom is going to somehow screw over Finn, and then we're going to get that match at Mania. And I can see them also pushing out Finn from Judgment Day anyway. So, yeah, it's CM Punk 100%. And if they entertain the fact that Balor wins, like you were saying, Mike, and then a day later or like on Raw or whatever, Punk wins it back, yeah, that just not only does Punk lose credibility and the WrestleMania main event loses credibility, but that World Heavyweight Championship will lose way more credibility, and they need as much credibility on that belt as they can give it.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I joke about the only way he loses if he misses the flight, but just sometimes that's true. Clear. Like yesterday,
hit by a car. You don't
we were having
know.
Our game on Tuesday night, our softball game, and it's a 5-run limit where we play, right? So we had bases loaded, 4 runs in, 2 outs, and a batter was at the plate. And I noticed that my guy goes on deck and he's swinging. He's excited. And I'm like, bro, you're not getting in the game because there's 4 runs in. If this guy gets a hit, that's 5 runs. If he strikes out, that's 3 outs. There's no scenario where you need to be on deck. He's like, oh, you never know. I was like, unless the batter disappears, you're not going to the plate. So same thing here. Unless CM Punk,
that is great.
Joins the vision and hurts himself. It's not going to happen.
Listen, look, Jimmy T, I'm not one to tell tales, but you didn't know that Mike was a motivational speaker, did you?
No, I didn't actually. Clearly, he's not. I mean, clearly he's sorry. Clearly, I mean, if that was me and you were saying that to me, I'll probably never turn up ever again. I'm just saying. I mean, come on. That's like getting picked last. Like in like the
like you could have softened the blow. You could have said something like, hey, listen, buddy, I know counting's hard.
I know you're not the sharpest tool in the shed, but you know what?
That's right.
It's all good.
That's right. But listen, Women's International Continental Championship. We'll never hear Intercontinental Championship because I'm old. I think of Pat Patterson. But are we thinking, who's going to win this? Becky Lynch or AJ Lee? We're going to pick Jimmy T for the block. Go ahead. You go first.
Oh, man. Look, because this is a tough one only because if AJ is going to be around after this, then I can see them giving her the belt, and then maybe she loses it back to Becky at Mania. Or I want to say Becky, but I just got a bad feeling it's going to be AJ. I think AJ Lee's going to win. I don't want that because it's in Chicago too. So, yeah, why not? Baby faces for the win.
Yeah, this is another tough one. I mean, I'm not a fan of the 4-match show. I think NXT Black and Gold had it best. The 5 matches is the sweet spot, unless it's a Mania or something like that.
Right.
So they're missing 1 match, and we haven't even talked about the main event because the crate. We've got to talk about the crate here in just a minute. But I'm going to take Becky Lynch. I'm not confident with this pick, but I don't see I can understand the world where AJ wins it, Becky gets it back at Mania, but we've been there, done that already with
I don't like it at all.
Yeah. So I think Becky wins. I can see either AJ is going to disappear for 3 more months, or she'll have a rematch at Mania. But if she does, she'll win at Mania, but it'll be a very short reign. I could even see, or if and what I could see too. You can. I don't know. Naomi's going to probably be out for quite a while or whatever. So I don't see AJ defending the title too often. And Intercontinental Championship, and it seems like the Intercontinental Championship is more important than the Women's Championship sometimes.
Right now.
But I'm taking Becky Lynch, AJ Lee. This won't be her day. They're not going to let AJ and CM Punk both win in Chicago. But it's not the last we'll see of her.
So you kind of brought up the last big question that I have, and that's, as Jerry Seinfeld would say, who or what is in this crate? I don't know. The crate, was delivered to Raw, right, on February 16th, but they do not open until the 28th. Well, that's coming up 2 days away. The crate was shipped to SmackDown on Friday, back to Raw on Monday. Nobody wants this thing, right? But it will be opened at Elimination Chamber. So come on, Jimmy T, what's in the box?
I keep saying as a joke, it's a running gag between all of us, but I keep saying Chainsaw Charlie. Now, I don't know if you guys remember what I'm talking about or not, but back in 97, there was a crate again, funny enough, on Raw. And who came out of it was good old Terry Funk, who was going by the name Chainsaw Charlie, who literally got the chainsaw and cut himself out of the crate. And he had a sock on his head, if I remember correctly. I don't know why, but anyway, he came out like that. So it's obviously not going to be, Terry Funk, and God rest his soul. I have no idea what's going to be in this crate. Honestly, I mean, I don't know. Could it be who do you think, Mike? Before I make my mind.
Okay, so there's a lot of speculation, and obviously the joke here is nobody could be alive in this. I mean, they've been in there with no food or water for 2 weeks. Obviously, I don't think it's just going to be an item either. I think, and Chris Jericho is still on the AEW roster page. So as much as we would want it to be him, it's not going to be him.
What would be him in a crate anyway?
Right?
There's odds.
The only tie-in is that there's a clipboard next to the crate, but even then, the first week they didn't do a good job of hiding that there was literally nothing on the piece of paper attached to the clipboard. It was completely blank. They could have tried a little harder with that.
It could be an order number or something.
So I think that, and here's the hard part too. I can see them going the Danhausen route. Danhausen is a comedy character. But here's the thing, and hopefully, I mean, this seems like a Road Dogg idea. I'm just gonna throw that out.
Oh, for sure.
The thing is, if it is Danhausen, do they, in their right minds, do they think the crowd's going to pop and be excited? The crate has been built up now, and so he's gonna get the Rey Mysterio entrant at number 30 kind of crowd reaction here. They're going to boo, even though they like Danhausen, they're going to boo it. That's not what they want to see. But I do see them going that route. I'm going to say it's going to be Danhausen. They're going to try to do something funny, and maybe later in the show they'll make it up to us with a surprise return later in the show, something to that regard. But I can't see it being. I mean, because theoretically, about it, we want it to be Chris Jericho, but if we have Adam Pearce in the ring, and with the other general manager, and they're both general managers are in the ring, and they open it up, and Chris Jericho's standing there, that's just cheesy. So, but Danhausen fits that cheesiness. He's that kind of character. So, unfortunately, I think this is a bad dad joke that's not going to hit. I think is what's going to happen. So
I think you're 100% right. It's not going to hit, man. It's just not. Because I can just picture him coming out and going,
So here's some of the current odds. right now, Danhausen is favored to be inside the crate at
it's
minus 200. Chris Jericho's minus 150. Bianca Belair is plus 250. Pat McAfee and his bad white tank top is plus 400. Shane McMahon is plus 5,000. And my personal favorite, possibly, Jimmy Hoffa. But you never know.
Jimmy Hoffa. Isn't he still missing? Just quietly.
Yeah. So you just don't know. And or Waldo.
Yeah, could be Waldo.
That'd be great. That'd be great if it was, but I doubt it.
And when do you think that they're going to have this segment? Because it's going to be in the ring. It's basically instead of a fifth match, that they're going to do this thing. But like, Jimmy, when do you think they're actually going to go ahead and put, like, where are they going to fill this in? Is it going to be like right before the main event, or?
Well, if you do it before the main event, what's the point? Unless they're going to be in the main event, right?
Right.
I mean, don't be surprised if they do it right at the end of the show. Do you remember when Punk returned? The way he returned, we thought we were going off the air, then suddenly, and then he just came out. And could it be something like that even? I mean, could that be possible?
You know what I think it is? Seriously? I think it'll just be a teaser for WrestleMania. It'll be like a audio tape or a videotape, that kind of thing that shows a message, and the message is going to be
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, somebody coming back out of nowhere and threatening somebody else, and they'll build the story from there.
But why the crate though? Like, why would they come out of the crate? It just doesn't make sense. Like,
there you go. There you go. There you go. So listen, it's like I haven't been able to stop. You mentioned this thing. First of all, that's our pal, right? And boy, doesn't he look happy to be out. Pennington, So there, look, right? So I just was on TikTok the other day, and I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but you're talking about crates, right? So did we all see Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is going to blow your mind because it was what's the name of that? Whatever show that, I forget the name of the show about all those smart kids, whatever. One was talking to the other, said, do you realize if you watch Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Han Solo character and the girl, they had nothing to do with it. They were there for no reason at all. You're like, what do you mean there's no reason at all? Well, what happened? Inside the crate was the Ark of the Covenant, right? And and they opened up the covenant and they all melted, right? That would have happened whether or not he was there or not.
Right. Yep.
You think about it. Right? he had no Han Solo. Han Solo. Keep saying Han Solo. Harrison Ford. They had no reason to be there. There was no purpose for him being there. That would have happened anyway.
Right.
He didn't cause them to open up the crate. They were going to open up the crate anyway. He just figured out that maybe he should close his eyes. But that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yep. I know. And
thank you for ruining the movie for you. Thank
you. Because they're also, and that's a interesting, that you bring that up, but like, because there also is the other elephant in the room is the fifth reincarnation of the masked man with the hood.
Oh God, no.
Seems like because the Vision only has Logan Paul and Austin Theory left, is this guy on hiatus? Is he going to disappear? Is he going to be in the crate? I don't know. Return to sender, maybe. I don't know. We still don't know who's talking to Adam Pearce on the phone. We still don't know. There's one other one as well. We don't know who attacked Jacob Fatu. There's just it's True. Like that. I don't know if you ever remember that show Lost. Like, it was a great series, but it just kept creating more questions and never actually answered anything.
And that's what worries me, Mike. That would be capable of doing that too.
Yep. And because they got their money, they're going to get their money. They got the sponsors. The cheapest seat in the building, I think, is $286 to sit in the highest row in the building, so they can get away with these format shows. Now, do you ever sit back, Jimmy, and think? Sometimes we're being too critical because sometimes I say yes, but I'm trying to remember what show it was. I put on. So I was watching. I don't know why. I was on Netflix and I was like, I want to watch something random from the old school. So I put on the St. Valentine's Day Massacre from 1999, and the third match on the card was Midian, a heel, versus the Big Boss Man, more of a heel. And I'm watching this thing and I'm like, okay, I'm complaining about a 4-match PLE, but there used to be 8 matches, but this was one of them, and this was absolutely horrendous.
Garbage. It was garbage. You know what, Mike? I think we are being way too critical. Honestly, do you want to be completely honest?
I think I'd rather you lie.
Well, yeah, because I seriously think about I've been a lifelong pro wrestling fan for 40 years at this point, over 40 years, and I think to myself, man, why are we like saying such bad things? If we watch it for what it is, like I feel like we're way too critical. Like, what do we want? Like, we're always saying, oh, this guy should be pushed or that guy should be pushed and whatnot, right? But if we thought like that back in the day, like imagine the internet being around, which it was, and there was forums around back then where a lot of fans were, conjugating and actually talking about it, and it was pretty popular. But I feel like we'd be crapping on it even now. If it was back then, the Attitude Era, Jesus, you can really crap on quite a bit of it. I love you, Vince Russo. I'm just saying, love you, Vinny Russo. But man, like there was a lot of garbage even there. I mean, there was the Hand, for example. Like I know that was in 2000, and that was after Russo. But really, a Hand?
Yep, the Hand. And you know what was funny back then? And Darren, I know you're not obviously not as into it, but was there ever a time, Darren, that you did kind of watch for a little bit of time more than others and stuff? Or?
I must tell you, I watched every week, 3 times a week, and I'm not exaggerating. I would say from the Stan the Man Stasiak, Bruno Sammartino phase up until WrestleMania 3. Remember, I was at Chase Stadium when Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant fought, which they don't even talk about. The first time, two or 3 years.
The first time he body slammed him.
Yes, yes, correct.
Yeah,
and I would watch Bob Backlund. I would go to the Garden all the time and watch Tony Atlas and Larry Zbyszko, the Executioners, Chief Jay Strongbow, Billy White Wolf. I mean, I can go on and on. I mean, I loved it. The fabulous Moolah.
Darren, what made you just snap out of it? Like, why did you stop watching it?
No, so I still love it. But what happened was, all kidding aside, it was on, you'd have it Wednesdays or Saturday at midnight. Then it was on Fridays for a while. In fact, once a month, it used to be on Saturday nights on NBC and bump Saturday Night Live. But I just started working. Yeah, that's right. Saturday Main Event. And Gorilla Monsoon doing the play-by-play, and it's a P6 brawl. They're not in the ring yet, Gorilla.
That was good old days.
Yeah, and my favorite was if you could be watching a match and you'd hear this, right, Jimmy?
Right.
Following this commercial in nature.
Yeah.
Right. It was great. I loved everything about it.
It was so much better the way they did certain production things back then compared to now.
Yep. But to answer your question, you get married. I was bouncing, as Michael said, I was bouncing in a bar, Thursday nights, Friday nights, Saturday nights, and something got to give. But I think it's wonderful. And after a while, like, who's left? And then, and then you see like Ric Flair is coming out in a wheelchair, like, pushing him out. But I love it. I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, and we got about 5 minutes left, so I want to touch on a few things. But one thing I always remembered about those times, Jimmy's in the 90s and the 2000s, was every single time that WWE was gaining momentum, I had somebody in the room, male, female, friend, foe, I don't remember, and I'm like, you've got to watch, you've got to start watching this, you'll get into it. Right. And every single time they finally walk in the room, it would be that one segment of the show that was utter crap, And the rest of it was great. They would come in and they'd see Santino with the Cobra, or they would come in and see Katie Vick, or they would come in and see, just the Godfather with his train and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I had this, like, I'm trying to defend this, and this is what they see. Forget it, So it never, the timing just always was really bad, dude, because they didn't see the good stuff that they saw.
I won't elaborate too long, but I'm just like, I kid you not. Back in the day, I used to, like, if I was out with my friends and whatnot, and I was really the only real. It was me and another friend that were the nutcase wrestling fans, and that friend, I got him into wrestling. Funny enough, he didn't start watching till the 90s. I've been watching from the 80s. So, and the 80s is still one of my favorite eras, if anything. Like, that whole, like, mid to late 80s for me was the golden era, like, as they call it. But
yeah,
I used to run home. Like, if I was out with my friends and whatnot and we were hanging out, whatever, if Raw or Nitro was on, or both, obviously, I would literally be like, I don't know what you guys are doing, but if you want to come back to my house to with me to watch the wrestling, you're more than welcome. But I'm going home. I'm watching Raw or Nitro, whatever I chose to watch first, and then I'll be back out. I mean, that's how crazy I was. I used to want. It's funny because we've got so much content now, right? More so than ever. Back then, I couldn't get enough. I used to tape every single show. Nitro, Thunder, Raw, SmackDown, Saturday Night's Main Event, pay-per-views, you name it. I'll record everything.
Always. For me, there's 3 times in my life that was must-see television. Was the Friday night lineup on ABC, the whole Boy Meets World, Family Matters, Full House, all that stuff. Wrestling on the nights you said on Monday Night Wars, whether you're going flipping back and forth, and The Walking Dead. Like, to me, those were the 3 that when it was on, I had to watch it when it was on, and the other plans would have to go to the side. But the battle between Nitro and Raw, like, you want to just pick one, but you can't. It's a commercial. You got to go to the other show, and you got to flip back, and you got to flip back. And
right.
A lot of it was before the DVR, and so you had to pick one.
Right. You couldn't miss it. You really couldn't miss it because we didn't have DVR back then. Yeah, sure. We had the VCR with the G code, whatever it was called.
Yeah. Yep.
Where you have to put the code in. And I don't think that worked on cable television, if I remember correctly. It only worked on the, over the air, like, networks like NBC, say, for example, or ABC, not like TNT or USA Network back then. But, yeah, man, if you missed it, that's it. You missed it. I think there was replays on the Nitro. Didn't Nitro replay right after the live show? It was replay right after it again.
Yeah. So, what do you call it? The golden era, the late 80s, early 90s. Some of those shows, it's 14 matches deep, but you loved every minute of it.
But they went for 3 hours, though. Somehow they will squeeze all that in 3 hours, whereas now 4 hours, 4 matches in 2.5 hours there, roughly.
No like video packages. We got Lord Alfred Hayes.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
All that good stuff. Darren, I have, obviously, with just a couple minutes ago, one thing we like to do, Jimmy, at the very end of the podcast, we throw this up on the screen. This could be Darren's final, could be anything question, could be wrestling related, could be breakfast related. I have no clue. Darren, take it away.
So, GBT, this is a question just for you. It's a 2-parter.
Okay.
Overrated, underrated, and explain to Americans who really don't understand it, the Vegemite sandwich.
Do you want me to tell you a real traumatizing story of mine?
Yep.
Yes,
all
100%.
Right. First of all, before I say if it's overrated or underrated, I got to first say the story. When I was a kid, I was sleeping over my grandparents' house at the time, and I woke up long before my grandparents did because I was craving for chocolate like Nutella or something like that.
Right.
So I'm looking in the cupboards and whatnot, and I'm trying to find, Nutella. So I come across this chocolate-looking thing. Well, it looked like chocolate to me.
Right.
So get this. I took a big a spoonful of this stuff.
Right.
I literally put it in my mouth, and to tell you I was traumatized is an understatement. I kid you not. I remember this too. That's what's crazy. See, that's how traumatizing it was. I literally started crying. I was only about 4 years old, right? But I literally started crying so bad because I don't know what the hell I was eating. I thought it was chocolate. That was my first experience. That was my first experience with Vegemite. That is a dead set true story. I kid you not. I'll never forget. I always say this story, but after a while, so I obviously tried it again. I never liked it originally, but I don't eat it like religiously, like or anything like that. But sometimes you get a craving for it. It's how can I put it? It is overrated in a way, right? But if you have it with tasty cheese, say for example,
that's what you are now the third person to tell me that with cheese it's not bad.
Right.
But I can imagine if you thought it was something else.
Oh man, I'm telling you, that is a dead set true story. I'll never forget it. And I was that young, and I still remember. That's how much it traumatized me because the fact that I remember it.
Right.
I'm telling you, I took a big spoon. Actually, I saw 2 Americans try Vegemite just last week. I just came across it on YouTube for some reason. And these guys, the biggest mistake they did was literally take a big spoonful and try it because these guys absolutely lost it. Like that was you're supposed to put a little tiny, not like a whole spoonful like I did and they did. Otherwise, you'll never look at it again.
What exactly is it?
It's yeast-based stuff. So I don't know who came up with this. You know what I'm saying? It's weird, but it makes sense with toast and cheese. It's but you don't put a lot of it.
Well, it's interesting you say you don't know who came up with it. I'm like, well, probably the same person that came up with eating crabs. Like, who thought, okay, this thing that's just walking around that could.
I think that all the time, man. I think like that all the time.
Exactly.
Like, who the hell thought like a plant was safe to eat?
It's just these are people who are far braver than me. Like, no, it's okay, absolutely. I'm good. But I do want to try it just to say that I tried it.
Just do me a favor and just make sure you put a little bit.
Because I told you about my friend. She told me just a little bit with some cheese, and you're good. No sandwich. This isn't men at work. No sandwich.
But put it this way, I have it probably once every 4 months, if that. Sometimes once a year. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but sometimes I'll have it.
Cool. That was my question, Mike. See, you never know what my question is.
Never know. It could be anything. And he doesn't run these by me. He just saves stuff. Jimmy, it was an absolute pleasure. Definitely hope to collab with you a little bit more often. Very much, free to assist in any way I can. If there's ever a need or just want to chat, whatever, feel free to reach out.
I appreciate that, Mike.
I definitely enjoy this. Both jobs that I have are very, kind of sit down at home, quiet, no people around. So I love communication and kind of get into the weeds of some of this stuff. So again, one more time, if you could just, those that might have missed at the beginning, because we have a lot of people that will watch after the fact or the next day. So one final time, if you could share again where they can find you on social media, and then we'll close this thing out.
Well, you can find me on the X and Twitter at DJ Massive. Well, sorry, that's my old one that I'm not allowed to even use anymore because Twitter's locked me out of my own account because of my old phone number, which is ridiculous. But that's another story.
Yeah.
Which is really annoying. But anyway, so it's not at DJ Massifix. You can follow me there, but I can't interact with you. So at the PWC Network is where you can follow me. So it's PWC_network. You'll find me there. You'll see my mug. Also go check out Hameen Media Group on YouTube and on the Patreon, as you can see right there, where you can find all of my shows with my lovely co-hosts, my numerous co-hosts over there. And also at the PWC Network on YouTube, where you can find some old stuff and of course some of the new stuff that's also there. But that's about it, really.
Awesome. Thank each and every one of you that were able to watch this tonight. If you're watching this tomorrow, thank you. Hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, turn notifications on so you know that we're live. Again, we just reached the 4,000, so now 4,100 is the next goal. Remember, too, each and every day moving forward up until opening day, our content 30 parks in 30 days. Just released the Philadelphia Phillies episode today. Tomorrow, the New York Yankees is coming your way. But each day, taking you up to opening day, we've got a 5-minute preview and prediction show for each MLB team as we get closer. We're going to let you know where we think they're going to finish. Are they a playoff team? Are they going to absolutely suck? We're going to let you know each and every day. Jimmy, again, thank you so much. Until next time, we will see you around the ballpark. Bye, guys.